Sources. Introduction. Sources are the very backbone of history. In other words, to know history, we must have some definite sources in our hand. Unfortunately, however, there was no systematic tradition of history writing in ancient India. The long, untiring efforts of historians brought numerous sources to light. With the help of these sources, the history of ancient India can now be fairly reconstructed. Objectives of this chapter. In this chapter, we shall learn about the following concepts. First one is literary sources. A. Written literature. B. Oral literature. 2. Archaeological sources, inscriptions, coins, monuments, other ruins. Let us discussion about the significance of the sources. History is a systematic study of the past. History is written on the basis of sources. Hence, there is no source, no history. There is no source, no history is the stance of history. Historian is like an advocate. The advocates presents their arguments on the basis of followed evidences and sources related to their case. If the things used by human beings in the past have remained, then they are called as the sources by historians. The archaeological tools left by the earlier people, forts, coins, inscriptions, arms, temples, and other religious buildings are considered as sources to write history. These sources can be divided into. There are two types in literary sources: written literature, oral literature. Literary sources, written literature, oral literature. Written literature is the main source of literary sources. Literature can bring the contemporary social life of the times of the writer alive to us. A literary works portrays the then exist aspects of life either directly or indirectly. There are two types in written literary forms. They are native literature. The literature created by Indians in native languages is called as the native literature. Literary works in Sanskrit, Prakrit, Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, Marathi, and in the many others native languages are the sources. Written literature, which works can be named as native literature: Kautilya's Arthashastra, King Hala's Gatha Saptashati, Vishakadatta's Mudra Rakshasa, Banabhatta's Harshacharita, Pampa's Vikramarjuna Vijaya, Sangama's literature, and many other such literary works can be named as native literature. Many foreigners who visited in as travelers, ambassadors, businessmen, officials, and missionaries have recorded their observations and experiences in their works. These works are considered as foreign literature. Megasthenes Indica, Oensang's Siyuki, Ptolemy's Geography, Babur's Sujki Babari, and others are the important sources. Oral literature. Oral literature means the folk story, folk songs, folk legends, ballads, and others that pass on from one person to another by word of mouth. Oral literature means the folk stories, folk songs, folk legends, ballads, and others that pass on from one person to another by word of mouth. Since these begins of human life, human beings are passing and their experiences in the form story, songs and ballads orally from generation to generation. The folk people have created ballads about their local heroes. There are ballads on Kumararama, the Nayakas of Chitradurga, Kempegowda, Tippu Sultan, Sangolli Rayanna, Kitturu Chennamma, Sindhura Lakshmana, Meadows Taylor, and others. Legends means the local mythological stories. There are legends behind the names and places like Shravanabelagala, Bengaluru, Koppala, Pattadakallu, Gokarna, and Mysore.
And Mysuru. Let us now check our understanding. Question 1. What is a native literature? Answer. The literature created by Indians in native languages is called as. Question 2. What is oral literature? Answer. The folk story, folk songs, folk legends, ballads, and others that pass on from one person to another by word of mouth is called as oral literature.